Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good day all. My name is Lia Halimatus Sadiah. I will present the results of my research entitled Mathematical Abilities of Students in Solving Linear Programming Problems, a Systematic Literature Review. The authors, Lia Halimatus Sadiah, Dadang Juandi, and Tatang Herman. I'm a postgraduate student of mathematics education at Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia. Introduction. Learning is very important in the life of humans. By learning, individuals can obtain positive achievements for all the expectations they have. In achieving all these expectations, of course, there must be an effective effort can carry out the learning process. Meaningful learning is a process of relating new information to relevant concepts contained in a present cognitive structure. With meaningful learning, students can get their knowledge coherently. This is in accordance with the contextual learning model. The purpose of contextual learning is that students can learn new knowledge using the context of everyday life, and it is hoped that students can finally implement the knowledge they learn into other contexts. Linear programming is one of the contextual mathematical materials which students can learn in accordance with the context of everyday life. Linear programming is considered important to be well understood by high school students so that it can be implemented in various fields. But the facts, there are still problems in the ability of high school students to solve linear programming problems. The formulation of the problem in this research includes how is the description of the search results about the mathematical ability, the analysis of errors, and the analysis of difficulties of high school students on linear problems. Research method. The method used in this study is the SLR method, namely a systematic literature review with the following steps: bracketing, collecting data, identifying meaningful statements, giving meaning, and tick-rich descriptions. There are 3 inclusion criteria in this study. And then the articles are grouped based on the year of study, mathematical ability criteria, error criteria, and difficulty criteria. Using a search engine, a sample of 50 qualitative studies were obtained that were relevant and deserve a more in-depth review. Results and discussion. You can see figure 1 that this describes database on research year. This is part of the bracketing and data collection stage. You can see that the most research conducted in 2020 was about high school students' errors in solving linear programming problem, while in 2021, the most research is research that analyzes the mathematical ability of high school students in solving linear programming problems. This describes that there are still obstacles in solving linear programming problems, which is illustrated by the many studies on this matter. Student errors and difficulties were identified based on the result of these studies. And next, from the result of research on the mathematical abilities of high school students on linear programming problems, 4 mathematical abilities were identified, namely critical thinking, mathematical communication, problem solving, and mathematical representation. Table 1 is made to represent all research results that describe the results of research on the mathematical ability of high school students on linear programming problems. The results show that the students' mathematical representation ability in the form of tables on linear programming materials was included in the high criteria. However, most of the research results show that students' critical thinking skills, mathematical communication skills, and problem-solving skills are still lacking or low. And next, table 2 describes research on the errors of high school students on linear programming problems. Conceptual errors were identified in the results of the study using the Castellan's method. Research results were also obtained in the form of student errors in drawing conclusions, as well as errors in the final answer stage called encoding errors in Newman's method. Concept errors, drawing conclusions, and encoding errors are the most commonly found from the research results. And next, this is table 3 that describes research on the difficulties of high school students on linear programming. Based on Table 3, students' difficulties in solving linear programming problems, several things were identified, namely students experiencing difficulties in understanding concept, making mathematical model, and performing correct mathematical procedure. And the last conclusion, based on this research, it was found that mathematical abilities of students to solve learning programming problems was still low. Students still make many errors in drawing conclusions and encoding errors, and still have difficulties in understanding concepts, making mathematical models, and performing correct mathematical procedures. Maybe enough. Thanks for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.